Good one. Does anyone have a question?
Hi, Stuart. It's Alicia.
Yes, hi, Alicia.
I just wondered if you could remind us how to manage the energy of anger in terms of bringing it to the second chakra in the moment.
Yes, sir. I mean, honestly, it's a matter of two things. First of all, it's the will to do it and not get swept away in anger and let it take over. Secondly, and even more importantly, it's training. You have to learn how to do it. And that is part of the development of the chakra system that gives you the internal strength where that when anger comes up and somebody pushes your buttons or something happens, you have the capacity to draw that anger to the chakra right below the navel. It takes training, it takes will. Will is very important. It also takes a really deep need to grow and not to allow yourself to get swept away in anger where it just totally exhausts all your energy. All of those things work together, and then you got to have patience because it takes time to build a system that's capable of doing this. So, it's really not just one thing, it's a number of things that have to work in accordance with each other. And then you have to have the patience and be willing to train yourself in how to do this. It took me a long time, to learn how to do what I'm talking about. And I used to have a lot of anger, and I would, people would set it off and say stupid things, and I'd get angry. And then I would find out that I would just exhaust my energy. I drained myself of a spiritual life. And then through a consistency of catching it, not letting it happen, bringing it down, it's almost like training a Pavlovian dog, the bell and they come for the food. I mean, it really is the same kind of training that's necessary for a human being to learn how to do what I'm talking about. And over time, one masters it, one learns how to do it. And I think that's an extraordinary thing to learn because so much of our life is wasted when we get emotionally distraught that way. We get angry at other people. We get angry at our parents and our husbands, wives, children, that we get angry. And by the time the anger is abated, we have completely drained everything out of ourselves. And then we have to rebuild it. So just having that capacity to keep your attention below the navel, which also takes time and training. And then when you feel the anger come up, you can will it to go into the chakra below the navel, and eventually it will listen to you. If I ever feel anger, and God bless, I'm still a human being here, I feel anger sometimes. All it takes is for me to just will it to go down into the chakra below the navel, becomes chi. It's a powerful energy, and it can really help you to grow. So the things, I always say it, that kill us can also give us life. It depends upon whether or not we master the chaos inside ourselves, where it begins to listen to us and doesn't just, it's like a tsunami that just takes over and drowns us. And this is, one of the keys to learning to have a spiritual life. We have to master the chaos inside us. Anger, insecurity, victimdom, all this stuff. Guilt is a big one, all this stuff that drains people's energy, that keeps them from growing. But once you learn to master it, those things begin to listen to you. And they will almost automatically go right to the chakra below the navel and, become chi, become power, balance, harmony, rootedness. Because anger is just energy. Guilt is just energy. Fear is just energy. And, just have to learn how to use it consciously. And have patience, because you don't learn to do this in a day or two. It really takes time to master yourself. How many times have I said it? The only person that separates any human being and their spiritual enlightenment is themselves. And if they don't master themselves, I don't care how much they pray and chant and, live in ashrams and all this kind of stuff. If they don't master that inner chaos under any circumstance that they happen to be living through, and just learn to like yourself. I mean it. Learn to like yourself. You won't get angry if you like yourself. Learn to have compassion for the insanity that exists in other people, so they won't make you angry. When they get crazy, we don't have to get crazy. Have compassion for them, because look, they're hurting. They don't know what they're doing. They're not conscious people. Don't, hurt other people. Unconscious people do. And if you're having a spiritual life, you have to be big enough in yourself to make up the difference. To not allow that energy to take over. And to have compassion for them, because they need it. They really need it, I mean, look, I'm not a religious person, but, the Buddha, one of his disciples came up to him and said, so-and-so, one of your disciples was just bitten by a snake. And the Buddha said to him, well, what did he do to the snake? And I mean, this is very profound. What do we do to bring those responses on ourselves? How can we change inside so people can't respond to us that way? A snake bite is like somebody's anger, What did we do to draw that? Instead of blaming other people, figure out how to grow because of what the situation brings to your life. And I'm not saying that one should be naive or stupid in a situation. You have to also be able to protect yourself, because most people are not terribly conscious and they can do very dark things to other people. So it's a combination of compassion, love, and the capacity to stay centered and balanced, to know how to deal with a difficult situation. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And just finally, don't have expectations about the way other people are supposed to function, because they're never going to live up to them. Build your inner life so you can deal whatever they bring to you. Whatever it is, you have the capacity to deal with it because you have built that kind of an inner life. But don't, oh, they should act this way, they should act that way. They're never going to do it. Nobody can meet our expectations. We have to build a system that is developed enough to deal with whatever people bring. Love, unhappiness, sorrow, tension, this, that, If you have that kind of system, you can deal with whatever they bring. And if they want to fight, you have a system that can fight with them, I mean it. It's just, it's all of it is part of being a spiritual warrior. You never know you never know what's going to manifest in 5 seconds. You have to be prepared to live your life in the moment and not live with expectations about the way the world is supposed to be. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I'm going to post tomorrow on my website Tantra number 30. And it's very interesting, not only what is written, but I have a very dear friend of mine, an Israeli artist who is, I think, a very great painter and especially, printmaker. And one of his paintings is going to be posted on the website. It's really a wonderful painting. And I think you all will enjoy it. It's very mystical painting and very spiritual. Don't try to figure it out because you never will. But it's really kind of a masterpiece of art. And he's a good friend of mine. He lives in Paris, and he's originally from. Someday I could tell you stories about him and I, and just unbelievable stories, But I used one of his paint. I've been using art along with what I write, so I used one of his paintings. I think quite a wonderful picture. Does anyone else have a question? You could find that on my website. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I could really tell stories about when I first met this person. I'm talking unbelievable stories. things that had magical in every sense of the word, you know. And we've been friends for like 30 years now, you know, it's really a long time. I went to visit him in Paris when I was in Europe last, and we had dinner. He and his wife and Jennifer and myself had dinner. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, there will be class Sunday. Thank you. God bless you all. You know, I hope you all are learning as much from this as I'm learning from this. I mean, it would be really great. So bless you and thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone on Sunday. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Bye.
Bye.